And now joining us with more on the security situation and upcoming 10th Jerusalem Day is CEO and founder of the Israel Defense and Security Forum, Brigadier General Reserves Amir Avivi. Amir, just 2 years ago, Hamas fired rockets at Jerusalem during the march, just days after the ceasefire with Islamic Jihad. Would they dare do so again?
Well, I think that the way Hamas operates, they first strategically decide to confront Israel, and then they look for the excuse. And we see that last year there was a huge parade that day. I participated in Jerusalem's Day, and they didn't shoot. So it's really about their intentions from the beginning, and not necessarily something that Israel does. I think that after they saw the way the IDF managed to really topple all the leadership of the Islamic Jihad, the level of intelligence and the operational capabilities, they will think twice before initiating an operation against Israel. It's obvious that we are in very high readiness and alert, and I think that if they thought for a minute that the Israeli society is weakening, or the IDF or the Air Force is weakened because of what we saw in the last few months, this is not the reality.
Amir, even if there's no rocket fire, there are certainly security risks tomorrow. Is there any special deployment all over the country against terror on Jerusalem Day, or is the main focus on the city itself, on Jerusalem itself?
Well, as you know, the IDF is operating in an ongoing operation in Judea and Samaria, apprehending terrorists that are trying to launch terror attacks in all Palestinian cities. In Jerusalem itself, it's obvious that the police and border patrol will reinforce dramatically their forces to secure all the participants in Jerusalem Day and to prevent any attempt of attacks on people celebrating.
Jerusalem is a huge city, and the large Arab population in eastern Jerusalem has free mobility there. I mean, some recent terror attacks have actually come from Jerusalem neighborhoods. Can't the march really be fully secured?
Well, there is never 100%, but again, as somebody who participated last year, it was very well protected. And I think that the people who participated felt secure. I think that one of the problems is that the Hamas is really trying to develop terror cells also in East Jerusalem, bringing his ideologies of the Muslim Brotherhood. This is very, very dangerous, and we'll have to be alert. We know that just by existing, by just the fact that we're a Jewish state, this creates this reality. It doesn't have to do with any specific event we do. Anything that is Zionist, anything that has to do with our being here and our connection as Jews to our land, is something that supposedly provokes terror.
That's definitely true. Now, other terror fronts in Lebanon and Syria may try to make a statement. Are we closely watching other fronts as well, or not this time?
Well, it's hard to say, but I think that the overall Iranian strategy, and we have to remember, everything we're experiencing has a connection to Iran. Last week in our big convention, Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke, and he said that 95% of all the terror we are experiencing comes from Iran. It's a pretty amazing number, and indeed everything is coordinated by Iran. So really this is an Iranian decision. I believe that their strategy at the moment is to keep Hezbollah and Hamas intact for a possibility of an Israeli retaliation or attack on their nuclear program. So they will be very difficult, very careful in really bringing our zone to some kind of war.
We will definitely be following the developments. Amir, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.